It's probably going to be on the run through sector 2. That's where he's got a big advantage by about 0.3 of a second the last few times around compared to Bautista.
New fastest lap of the race from Razgatlıoğlu on lap 5, a 1 minute 31.951, 132.2 for Bautista, hence the gap coming down now to just 0.4 of a second, and it'll be less than that now as they flash through towards the end of the first sector. Jonathan Rea half a second down, then it's Rinaldi 0.4 back, and Gardner another 0.4, still only 1.9 covering your lead quintet, but the race is up. The final race of 2023 before the summer break. Alvaro Bautista has missed the start. Axel Bassani with a flyer though from the second row of the grid, so the Ducatis side by side, they've still managed to get alongside Toprak Razgatlıoğlu despite Bautista's poor getaway. Axel Bassani will try to lead coming through turn 2, collision going down into the first turn. It's Bassani who picks it up from Bautista now coming through to race lead. Third position is with Jonathan Rea, and then it is Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. That's Garrett Gerloff we've lost on the opening turn, and what a miserable weekend this has turned into for Gerloff despite that strong Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, Gerloff just losing the front on that run through turn 1 and the entry, and that's his race done. And it looked like it was another rider went through the escape road in front of the field. Bautista missed the jump off the line, but as he clicked through the gears, that Ducati's just able to get himself to the front.
And Razgatlıoğlu has dropped back from first to fourth, so it's going to be tough for him from here on in. Bautista leads, Bassani keeping up the pressure from P2. Then it's Jonathan Rea. In fact, Michael Ruben Rinaldi almost getting alongside Toprak Razgatlıoğlu there. This has been a sluggish start on the opening lap from Toprak.
Yeah, and Alvaro's struggling to get the bike stopped a little bit into that right-hander, it looked like, so Bassani's been able to get very close to him at this stage.
Nose to tail, and Bassani jumps down the inside. You don't see too many passing opportunities through there. Bautista will immediately respond. Bassani has the inside. As ever, the number 47, the Motorbike, is slinging itself around, and now Jonathan Rea is going to try and capitalise. He gets through on Bassani. Goodness me, he does well not to hit the back of Bautista. Michael Ruben Rinaldi exchanging positions here with Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. Toprak has the inside through the final turn. Turn 21 at the end of lap number 1. Bassani all out of shape over the curve coming off that final bend. Now the Ducati unleashed for Michael Ruben Rinaldi. Should get through on Toprak Razgatlıoğlu initially. Axel Bassani might be missing the apex here of turn 1. He's gone way wide. He's going to have to go through the gravel trap. He manages to pan through. He's staying on the bike, but he's going to lose a whole host of positions here. So that's Bassani out of the front running battle. It's enabled Alvaro Bautista to escape well away from Jonathan Rea, and Toprak Razgatlıoğlu now up to third. Might swiftly be through on Rea for second position as well. Bassani has rejoined the track, but I'm afraid he's outside of the top 10 places.
Yeah, Rea went in hot into that change direction as well, so Toprak's going to try and take that wider line, give him the exit. That sets up the move through turns 13 or 15.
Toprak Razgatlıoğlu versus Jonathan Rea. That's been the battle for top spot in each of the first 2 races of this weekend. It is not the battle, I am afraid, here. That's Eric Granado. He's crashed out on lap 2. But up at the front, your 2 riders dueling at the moment are dueling for second place. Bautista 0.4 of a second clear at the head of the field.
Yeah, but Bautista lost 0.3 of a second in the last sector. Rea is bringing Razgatlıoğlu and Rinaldi towards the race leader.
Michael Ruben Rinaldi, to his credit, performing the best we've seen from him at this weekend. His best group position of the weekend, of course, after losing his fastest time in the Super Pole session, and he's fought his way gradually through the field. He's now right in contention for the podium places as Loris Baz tries to hold on ahead of Danilo Petrucci. That was brave from Baz and managed to make it stick to hold on against Petrucci for P8. This is the recovering Axel Bassani. He's just got through on Dominic Egerter for P11.
Super stuff though from Baz from the 5th row of the grid to get himself up into the top 10 straight away.
Rinaldi again trying to move alongside Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, but in the braking zone, Toprak holds on. Alvaro Bautista with a 1 minute 32 flat. Jonathan Rea with a 1 minute 32 flat. Toprak Razgatlıoğlu actually a 10th of a second slower than the riders ahead of him last time around, so nothing to choose between Bautista and Rea early on. The longer the race goes on though, the more Alvaro Bautista will feel that this race is coming to him. Rea slightly offline again, holds back Toprak Razgatlıoğlu.
That is the line Rea takes through that section, but it's Rinaldi that lost a lot of time there with running a little bit too deep, but the top 3 really have bunched right up on each other.
Rinaldi wide again, and Remy Gardner almost alongside as we ride on board with Bautista. It does look as though Rinaldi managed to hold the position, but a gap that was 0.6 of a second to Remy Gardner is now just a 10th, and Gardner's having a storming day here in Most.
Yeah, Gardner's been fast all the way through the weekend, and this is his chance to be able to come away with a decent finish. He wants that top 5. That's really been where he's been all the way through this week.
Alex Lowe's behind him in 6th, ahead of Locatelli, Petrucci, Baz, and Vierke rounding out your top 10. Axel Bassani hasn't yet found his way through. Bautista being kept honest, particularly the first half of the lap. It's the second half of the lap where Bautista now will try to stretch his legs, and we've seen it time and time again from Bautista. Once he starts to make a lead, he's able to chip away at his rivals, edge away from them. For the moment at least, though, Jonathan Ray's right with him.
The one thing about it is, though, this final sector, the Kawasaki and the Yamaha are so strong through that last corner that the advantage Bautista has is negated by their corner speed. So the Ray and Razgatlıoğlu bikes, they're working well where they can, but they need to be able to attack.
On the inside of Jonathan Ray into turn 1 on lap 4, tries to make the pass. Ray will still have the inside line then through turn 2. Razgatlıoğlu now with the cutback will get it done through turn 3. Razgatlıoğlu, fastest man out there last time around, 1/10 of a second faster than Ray, 2/10 of a second faster than Alvaro Bautista. And as Razgatlıoğlu now tries to escape away from Jonathan Ray, he's got 7/10 of a second to find against Bautista, the race leader.
Yeah, and it cost them about a half a second that instant as well, just as they battle with one another. That's always been one of the key things. Can you make those clean moves against Jonathan Ray and not lose the lap time to Alvaro Bautista? Toprak lost some time, but now he's trying to just gain it straight back, and you can see how much he's been able to stretch away from Ray just from this onboard shot.
Yes, Jonathan Ray already 3/10 of a second back from Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, who now occupies second position. We ride on board with the race leader to see the gap back to Razgatlıoğlu. Jonathan Ray sits in 3rd place. Michael Ruben Rinaldi keeping him honest, only a few tenths of a second back, and credit to Remy Gardner for what's been a super ride in race 2 thus far. He sits in P5 ahead of Andrea Locatelli, Danilo Petrucci, Loris Baz, Axel Bassani, and now Xavi Vierke. Couple of incidents already on this lap. It looks as though Lorenzo Baldassari has gone down once again, and Alex Lowe's has dropped all the way down to 14th position, and Lowe's sat up in P6, remember, so that's really bad news for Alex Lowe's after what's been a challenging start to the weekend, but it did look as though he'd rather brought himself back into contention for race 2 this afternoon. Starting lap 5 now, Ray menacing on the tail of Razgatlıoğlu, never going to have an opportunity under braking in towards turn 1, but he's got to go with Toprak here because Rinaldi is faster than the 2 men in front of it.
Yeah, I think that's more about putting your bike in a position to defend against Rinaldi, because he's that far behind Toprak. You're not going to be able to attack Toprak like that. But for Jonathan Ray, the goal is try and make sure you can hold on to the podium, keep Razgatlıoğlu and Bautista honest, as it is for Alvaro Bautista. He was able to take advantage of the Ray and Razgatlıoğlu battle in Sector 1 last time round, but he lost a few tenths of a second for the rest of the lap.
Yes, Bautista half a second up at the start of the last sector compared to Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, but 3/10 of a second faster than him last time around as a whole. Jonathan Ray 3/10 slower than Razgatlıoğlu, hence the gap that you can see on track now. Rinaldi not really making continued progress against Jonathan Ray, who begins to dig in on lap 5. Still only 1.8 seconds covering your lead quintet. To the credit of Remy Gardner, he's sticking on in there.
Yeah, Toprak's in a position to attack now, though. He's been able to close right up on Bautista. Doesn't have to worry about Jonathan Ray. Able to hold those tighter lines through turn 16 down in towards 17. So for Toprak, he knows...
Oh, big moment for Alvaro Bautista as they make their way through turn 17 and 18. Could this be an opportunity on lap 5 in towards turn 20? Alvaro Bautista holds track position, but Toprak Razgatlıoğlu will feel that Bautista is absolutely on the limit, and the gap is the smallest it's been all race so far.
That's going to give Toprak confidence to be able to see a moment like that for Bautista. He'll know that there will be an opportunity for him. It's probably going to be on the run through sector 2. That's where he's got a big advantage by about 3/10 of a second the last few times around compared to Bautista.
New fastest lap of the race from Razgatlıoğlu on lap 5, a 1:31.951, 1:32.2 for Bautista, hence the gap coming down now to just 4/10 of a second, and it'll be less than that now as they flash through towards the end of the first sector. Jonathan Ray half a second down, then it's Rinaldi 4/10 back, and Gardner another 4/10, still only 1.9 covering your lead quintet, but the race is up front as Razgatlıoğlu charges onto Bautista's tail.
Gotta say, Toprak running so close to the gravel there on the run through. That's actually a track well, using as much curb as possible on the entry into turn 5. He's committed at this stage. He knows it's Toprak time.
It's now or never against Bautista. The longer the race goes on, the more Bautista will settle into his rhythm, the more others around him will start to fade, and Bautista is always able to keep up his pace for longer into the race. But here comes Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. Is he close enough in towards turn 15? The answer to that is no. Could he set himself up for turn 17, where Bautista looked vulnerable a lap ago? He's right on his tail now, Razgatlıoğlu. Bautista holding firm. Turn 20. So many times Razgatlıoğlu Razgatlıoğlu's favoured overtaking opportunity. It could be into there on lap 6. Bautista leads, but only by 0.2 of a second against Toprak Razgatlıoğlu, who again is not quite close enough into turn 20.
Look how defensive Bautista is. In all the braking zones, he's trying to be in the middle of the track so that he can defend against Toprak. He knows that Toprak's got the faster bike. This is a battle of track position. Bautista has it right now, but the exit of turn 10 is going to be critical. We saw last time around, Toprak was able to close right up through that section of 11, 12, 13, those sweepers in the middle of the lap. He's going to give himself a chance to make a move into turn 15.
792 metres down the start-finish straight. That's enough for the Ducati to stretch its legs and open up a little bit of a margin to Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. We know Toprak's biggest strength is under heavy braking, and Bautista's speed down the start-finish straight negates that into turn 1. But elsewhere around the lap, Razgatlıoğlu is all over Bautista's tail. Nothing to choose between the top two now.
Toprak's so much faster than Bautista, but Bautista's putting his bike where it needs to be. This is the important corner for Toprak. Get the exits through here, and then you're into the sweeping section. He's going to be close enough onto the bridge this time, unless Bautista goes super defensive.
Through the high-speed corners now. Razgatlıoğlu with the momentum will catch Bautista by surprise into turn 13. Bautista now with the cutback. Race to turn 15, where it's single file through there, and Razgatlıoğlu has track position, and Razgatlıoğlu has the race lead once again in Most. He's a little bit deep, but Bautista not close enough to gather it up.
It's one line through this section, but if you're able to carry a bit more momentum, Alvaro Bautista might be able to get close enough to attack into the penultimate corner. He'll certainly try and make a move down the start-finish straight.
Bautista pushing hard. He's not waiting for the final third or even the second half of this race. He wants to come straight back at Razgatlıoğlu, but look at how strong the 2021 world champion is on the brakes, and that's all Razgatlıoğlu needed to open up a little bit of a margin, and boy did he need to open that margin, because onto the start-finish straight is a golden opportunity for Alvaro Bautista. He's got to get the exit right coming off the final turn at the end of lap 7. Razgatlıoğlu to the inside will be deep on the brakes. Alvaro Bautista's got the top-end power. He's got the straight-line speed, but he's only got second position. Razgatlıoğlu holds firm up front.
And that's the key. Can Bautista get close enough to attack again before we come to turn 1 next time around? Toprak needs a super pole lap now. Try and open up a few tenths of a second and then break away from Bautista.
Bautista was your race leader as they crossed the line, 0.006 of a second in it. Razgatlıoğlu has now recovered that top spot. Jonathan Rea just can't keep up with them, I'm afraid. He's a second back in third position. He's got his own fight on his hands just to try and defend against the likes of Rinaldi and Gardner, who's sticking on in there. Secondary group further back, well, Axel Bassani's done really well to recover from his off-track excursion early on. He's now right on the tail of Danilo Petrucci. So Gardner, Petrucci, Bassani in that order for top independent.
It's not smooth and easy for Alvaro Bautista right now whenever he's trying to chase down Razgatlıoğlu. You can see as he moves, the bike moves around underneath him. It grips, it spins, and he just loses that momentum compared to Toprak. Toprak's doing what he has to do to be able to just stretch out those few tenths of a second any chance he gets.
Bautista would probably be happy enough to pick up another 20 points given what the weekend has held for him thus far, but if he can get a swing and take the race victory, that really will be a confidence boost ahead of the summer break at a circuit that has not been kind to him thus far. Home man Oliver Koenig, unfortunately, coming into the pits, looks like this race is going to come to an end for him.
Alvaro's going to have a chance to make a move into turn 1 once again because he's really close coming off that last corner.
Here comes Bautista, start of lap number 9. Bautista led Razgatlıoğlu over the line a lap ago. He's on par with him again at the start of the 9th. Side by side into turn 1. Razgatlıoğlu still has the high ground. Nervous smiles though now in the Patti Yamaha pit box.
So many times this season we've seen it where Bautista's just taken that watching brief, and then when he wants to make the move and attack and open a gap, he comes through on a rider. Toprak's been faster than him all the way through this weekend. It's now up to Toprak to make sure he can keep him at bay.
Just 0.003 of a second between the two of them on that last lap around. Razgatlıoğlu and Bautista evenly matched over the course of a full lap, but most of the circuit it is Razgatlıoğlu who looks the stronger of the two.
It's most of the circuit, but last time around into turn 20, Toprak, the rear end slid on the entrance to the corner. It cost him that bit of speed and confidence into the right-handers at the end of the lap. That allowed Bautista to come back to him. So for Toprak, he knows that he needs to be inch perfect through there to just give himself the chance to open up that gap.
Bautista with a bit of a run actually through the high-speed section here, but Razgatlıoğlu with track position. Again, Alvaro Bautista will know his strongest suit is coming off turn 21 and down the start-finish straight. But how do you get down the inside of Razgatlıoğlu when he's that strong on the brakes? One pole race in Misano. The best result he's had since then has been P5 3 times during the Italian round. And in this morning's Tissot Super Pole race, it might have to be 5th position for him again here in race 2 this afternoon, because Axel Bassani has closed him down, and Rinaldi, having sat in 3rd position for the majority of this race, picked off a lap ago by Danilo Petrucci, has now got to fend off Axel Bassani, the top independent rider in the championship standings.
2 laps to go, and Bassani's going to get his opportunity. Let's see what Rinaldi can do. He's had it tough the last few rounds. A heel injury after his Donington Park crash curtailed him a little bit at Imola, and then he's been with an upset stomach this weekend as well, so it hasn't been easy for Rinaldi.
Bassani's got the run already, early stages of lap 21, the penultimate lap here. The fight is for 4th position. Rinaldi defending against Bassani. We know Bassani takes no prisoners. He'll be as aggressive as he possibly can. The two have already come to blows several times this season.
Yeah, turn 13, turn 15, that's where Bassani's going to get his opportunity. He's so much more drive there in the exit of turn 10, so you'd imagine in the sweepers he's going to come through.
And Rinaldi taking a bit of curb as well. Bassani with the impetus, and Axel Bassani bidding for his first podium of the weekend to get back up onto the rostrum after his 2nd place finish in race 2 of the Italian round. Has cleared 1. Can he now go after Petrucci?
He can't go after Petrucci, but he might be able to go after Ray, but with only a lap to go, probably going to run out of lap times. But for Petrucci, it's going to be a move into turn 1, a repeat of what he did on Rinaldi to try and take P2.
4th place certainly settled. Bassani comes through on Rinaldi. He's already gapped him 3/10 of a second. Danilo Petrucci switching to the inside line as they come into turn 20 on the penultimate lap. It's now all about 2nd place. Ray versus Petrucci. Once again, as we saw in the UK round, does the Ducati have the power advantage down the start-finish straight? 792 metres to try and get the pass done for Danilo Petrucci, the top independent rider in this race. Already once a podium finisher this weekend. He gets alongside Jonathan Ray. The Kawasaki can't answer back, and Petrucci has made his pass, but Ray bundles back through. Jonathan Ray will never give up without a fight.
Yeah, and then for Petrucci it becomes a question of whether or not you can make the move at the start of the lap, or you have to wait like Bassani did into turn 13.
And Danilo Petrucci already up alongside Jonathan Ray. He's got the elbows out there, trying to force Ray out of the way, and Ray said, I don't think you think so. He's seen all of that and more in his years in the Superbike World Championship.
Yeah, great defensive riding from Jonathan Ray, but Bassani's with them now as well.
Yeah, watch out for Axel Bassani. Gap less than a second between 2nd and 4th places. I think it's just a little bit too far to come for Axel Bassani. For Danilo Petrucci, it's now about getting close enough into turn 20. He was already close to Ray a lap ago through there.
The one thing is he's able to carry all the momentum through the change of the direction at the end of the lap of 16, 17, 18 to set the move up. We'll see what he can do.
Danilo Petrucci closing in on Jonathan Ray. Will Ray be able to hold him at bay here for 2nd position? And how about Bassani? The gap that was 1.5 seconds is now down to just 6/10 of a second. He sniffs an opportunity to get up onto the podium places if these two should come to blows, and they might well do so because they are nose to tail. Petrucci will dive to the inside line into turn 20 for the final time. Ray will have the cutback. Short shoot now to turn 21, but Ray has the inside line. Will try to push Petrucci out of the way. Alvaro Bautista returns to winning ways. His first race victory of the weekend to take maximum benefit from Toprak Razgatlıoğlu's retirement. Danilo Petrucci is through on Ray in the run to the line.